What's up, guys? Welcome to the Conquered Health channel. I'm Louis Latuka, and I really wanted to continue this vestibular neuritis, vestibular health part of the channel. I'm getting constant calls about it ever since I've done that first initial video about vestibular neuritis and my story and my healing journey. It's all linked to vestibular migraines and any vestibular issues. What we do on this channel is raw, unfiltered help and advice for health, prosperity, wealth, etc. So not all the fancy editing, not all the over-the-top crazy stories and crazy lies. It's true advice to help you prosper and be the person you should be. And if you're watching this video, you've probably got a vestibular issue, dizziness, migraines, something like that. And I'm here to tell you, I know how that feels, and it is awful. It's awful. It's maybe one of the worst things I've been through. It's definitely one of the worst things I've been through. And I've been through some pretty extreme things in my life. Before we go any further, I want to make it clear that I am completely healed. 100% healed. I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. So there is hope for you as well. Now, there was a time, just to give you a bit of a backstory, there was a time where I wasn't well. And I thought I was never, ever going to get well. To give you a brief history on symptoms again, you can go back on my old video and watch the actual story about my vestibular issues and the symptoms. But I'm going to give you a brief story here. I was getting some flares. I didn't know what they were. I thought I was having like a mini panic attack, or I actually even thought it was a heart issue at some point, where I would just get these waves of overwhelming sort of dizziness and like a pins and needles type feeling. It would last a very short space of time and then it would go. And I'd say that happened for about a month. And after a month, I got one of those attacks and it never went. And my life was crippled for a long time, maybe 6-7 months, where I felt like I was on a boat like this all the time. I felt dizzy, I felt sick, nauseous. If I would walk out on the street, it was like the pavements, or if you're in America watching this, the sidewalks were like this. And I was almost as if I was walking with my head to one side. I was leaning as if I was falling into the road. It was just shocking. I would lie in bed and I would feel like I was swaying. It was terrible. I had no life. I was crying all the time. No one understood what I was going through. The only thing that would make me feel normal, strangely enough, was driving. The motion of driving would make me feel okay, which was bizarre. Now, eventually, long story short, I went through this for 3 or 4 months. I ended up getting diagnosed by a brilliant ENT doctor called Mr. Alam Hanan. He's a guy in England, great guy, absolutely great guy, beautiful bedside manners, and he picked it up quite quickly. He checked for labyrinthitis and all the other inner ear conditions it could be. It wasn't those. And I'm very fortunate as a clinical nutritionist, a trainer of 20 years, an athlete of 25 plus years, and having a lot of knowledge, I was able to really dig into the literature and understand what was wrong with me. Now, it wasn't a clear path. It wasn't easy, but I am completely, fully healed. Now, you guys are going to want to know what I did to heal. And it wasn't straightforward. It was a multi-faceted array of things, to be honest. But if I dial it back, the first thing was actually looking at my diet. I'd had some mold exposure in the past, which has wreaked havoc on my body ever since. Gut issues, sinus issues. I even had myocarditis where I nearly died from a heart issue caused by that. And I believe it was linked into that. I was getting these crazy mast cell reactions and histamine reactions, and my whole body was inflamed. And vestibular neuritis, anything with an itis, is inflammation, arthritis, neuritis. So he said it was vestibular migraines, vestibular neuritis sort of combined. It's hard to differentiate between one or the other. So I worked off the understanding that I had inflammation of the vestibular system, basically. So the first thing I did was I dialed back straight to an anti-inflammatory diet. I removed anything that was histamine causing, and I worked from there. I went ketogenic, and I did improve after about a month. The thing with a condition like this is you're always really unsure of yourself. You always think it's going to come back. You're never quite sure if you do feel good, you don't feel good. And that's really, really normal. I want everyone to understand that. But I did dial back to a ketogenic diet, and I did feel better, but I didn't feel 100%. So what I did is I actually took it one step further, and I went carnivore. And that was a game changer for me, guys. Absolute game changer. Not only did it help my vestibular issues within a few weeks, my gut was better, my sinuses, which have always been chronic, started to improve. I had more energy, less joint pain, and I just felt better in general. I didn't feel cured, but I felt a lot better, and I went back to living life. I would really struggle in certain situations, such as supermarkets or anywhere where you had that kind of light. It was really bad for me. Indoors, I was worse than outdoors, but that was the start of my healing journey. I read certain books. There is one called, and I wish I had it on me right now actually, I think it's called The Headache Solution. I'm going to put it in a link down below. I can't remember the author of the book, but I believe it's called The Headache Solution or The Headache Cure. It's a red and white book on the cover. Fantastic book. That helped me to understand the mechanism of migraines, etc. a bit more. Sorry, I'm not being overly helpful here. I should have had the book to hand. But again, I will put that in the description or ask me in the comments and I will send that to you. So that helped to get more and more educated about the issue. Magnesium. Magnesium was really, really effective. I took a combination of magnesium taurate and magnesium threonate and magnesium biglycinate. Took that every evening. That's well known to help with migraines and vestibular issues. I cut out anything. Obviously, I told you I went carnivore, but coming back to diet, I cut out anything that could be migraine producing. Alcohol, I'm not a big drinker anyway, but things like chocolate, peanuts, anything like that, gone completely. When you're this sick, you're very, very motivated to feel better. So you'll do anything. Exercise. I'm a power lifter. I'm also a former boxer, former footballer, former track athlete. So I'm used to training hard. And I dialed my training back. I did train, but I didn't train myself to like a stress point. So training was still there, but not as intense. Hydration, 3+ litres of water a day. Another thing I'd done, and I'm actually not sure how helpful this was, but I'd done something called the Cawthorn exercises, where basically, you do things like this, retrain your vestibular system. I'm not an expert on Cawthorn, so YouTube that. It may help you. I think it did help. It was something that was a factor, but ultimately, if your vestibular system is inflamed and you're sick, you have a physiological problem, those exercises aren't going to help. It's like trying to go to a psychiatrist to coach you or help you out of a depression that's caused from inflammation and food intolerances and gut health issues, if you get what I mean. So add it in if you want, guys. I think it helped me a little bit. Ultimately, on the supplements, I also done omega-3s. I'm jumping around here, but omega-3s was another thing I'd done. A good multivitamin. I used a Source of Life Gold multivitamin. The omega-3s, I used Wiley's brand omega-3s. Magnesium, just any old brand of magnesium is fine. I used one from Nutri Advanced. They have something called a Calm Ease, which was a powder. It was very effective for me. more importantly, I healed, and I was really, really sick. A lot of you will be thinking, watching this video, I kind of been as sick as me, didn't feel as bad as I do. Look at him now. And I was bad. I was bedridden a lot of the time. I nearly lost my job, lost my relationships. It was shocking. But I am better. And the purpose of this YouTube channel is to help you through particular conditions you may be going through, autoimmunity, training advice, and just to know that whatever you've got going on with you now, as long as you're alive, you have a chance. You have a chance of getting better. And I am, again, fully healed. Give yourself time with this condition because it is awful. It's hard. It's shocking. Nobody understands it. You try to explain it to people and they just think you're mad. But you will get better in time. Your most important thing is to get your nutrition right. Get your fluid intake right. Go to a good ENT. I highly recommend Alam Hanan if you're in the UK. Great guy. Get the supplements in. Relax, rest. You need to bring your inflammation down and you will improve. But this isn't the last video about vestibular conditions. This is probably the most important one you'll watch. Just be strong. Follow what I've told you to do there. Don't overcomplicate it. And slowly but surely in time, you should improve.